Ready? Okay, good evening. I'd like to call the October 11th, 2022 Clover Garden School Board of Directors meeting to order. It is at 6:34 p.m. Mr. Aiken, the role and mission.
Role of the board, we are entrusted to care for the current school and stay focused on the vision for the future school. No trust, no unity, no progress. Mission of Clover Garden School will foster community, generate enthusiasm, challenge students academically, and produce successful citizens.
Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to review tonight's agenda? Any changes, updates, or additions? I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Mr. Russell, second. Mr. Huffines, all in favor? Thank you. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from September? Any changes or updates? I have a motion to approve the minutes from September 2022. Ms. Foster, second. Mr. Huffines, all in favor? Thank you. Ms. Reagan, do we have any public comment?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. No special guests.
No, ma'am.
Takes us down to finances. The September 2022 monthly budget is in your packet. Has been sent out prior to. Has everyone had a chance to review the budget? Ms. Lane, any concerns?
No.
Okay. I have a motion to approve the September 2022 budget. Ms. Lane, second. Mr. Russell, all in favor? Thank you. Academics, principals update. Ms. Spencer, Mr. Feldman.
Hey, good evening. You should have a report there in your packet that I'll refer to with Mrs. Spencer. First category is academics. Our Grizzly Cubs have been very busy taking tests and our teachers collecting data through the beginning of the year in Q1. As you can see from your report before break, GM class already and NC check-ins. Assessments were completed. Those check-ins were for high school biology, English 2, math 1, and math 3. This week, we have 3rd through 8th graders taking reading and math check-ins, and 5th and 8th grade taking science. So that data will be accumulated and available soon. Ms. Robin Cox, our testing coordinator, should be with us either in November or December to share that data out.
Okay.
I do want to thank Ms. Cox and all the teachers that support that plan, because there are a lot of details involved with making sure that happens and accountability and ethics are followed. So it's a big undertaking. Q1 report cards are tentatively scheduled to come home this Friday, October 14th. And on the 25th of October, there are 2 opportunities for students in grades 8 through 11 to take either the PSAT or the pre-ACT for college application purposes. In athletics, most of you are aware that tonight is senior night and Dig Pink. But in addition to that, I do want to celebrate the academic success our athletes demonstrated in Q1. Out of our 85 fall athletes, 69 of those, or 81%, did earn a GPA of 3.0 or higher, which is a really wonderful accomplishment. And even better, all those athletes met or exceeded the academic requirements, so no one's going to be benched for the upcoming season.
Very good.
On your way out, if you didn't notice it as you entered, there is a new TV that's mounted up by the admissions table with those students' names so that family and friends can see those names. And again, just for recognition of their accomplishments in the classroom. Finally, in attendance and enrollment, and again, these numbers primarily come from our registrar, Ms. Miller. For the most part, unchanged from last month. Current enrollment 682, current wait list 544. Very healthy in kindergarten, 6th grade and 9th grade, which are not surprises because those are, entry points for most students as they would switch between schools. The final attendance for Q1, again, healthy, above 95%. And just a side mention, but on the 19th of September, the attendance committee, which I'm a part of, Mrs. Spencer, Coach Pascal, Mrs. Bass, our social worker, Miss Miller, and Mrs. Reagan met to take a look at those students that are approaching 10 unexcused absences so that we can identify them and notify parents that they need to make up time to receive academic credit. But that number is quite small right now because our attendance is very good. Mrs. Spencer?
Thank you. So when we look at our community activity, we do have upcoming our third annual trunk or treat, which is scheduled for Friday the 28th from 5:30 to 7:30. So you can mark the calendars for that. Under highlights, we have a different kind of highlight. We just wanted to share and note, so our second graders are taking a field trip to the Greensboro Science Center. And this is the first school field trip for many of those second graders, due to COVID. So the level of excitement has been really good to see. We have a lot of parents, that are even one class has 15 parents. So we are extremely excited about this experience. So that's that. Under student life, so we're looking at bands. This is their active season. They were able to go to Elon Band Day on September 17th, where they participated and rehearsed to perform at the music football game. A great experience because there were over 150 high schoolers from several other schools that were able to participate, and then they participated in the halftime show. With the Fire of the Carolinas Marching Band. So that's exciting. And then as we're going into the competition season, as you can see, we have several competitions coming up, one being this Friday with the Festival of Bands at Fuquay Varner High School. And then October 22nd, the Pirate Nation International at Corinne Holders High School. And then ending the month with a fall festival at Northwest Guilford High School. So that's our band and their upcoming events. Also this month, we were able to recognize and give some recognition and participation to National Hispanic Heritage Month, where our social worker was able to provide some opportunities for students to respond to some trivia questions. And I wish you all could have seen them like trying to get their responses in because there's a prize associated with the first 3 people and so forth. And so the participation was great. So it was just good for them to have the opportunity to learn more about a different culture. And then finally, on September 28th, we had the See You at the Pole event, which students were voluntarily, were able to voluntarily, I can't talk today. Participate in prayer at the pole. And so that was a great experience as well, just to kind of see students have that opportunity. And so that concludes our principal's report for.
How many people do we have in the band right now? How many students?
6th grade, just from my remembering as I walked in there and listened to them. There's about 15, it feels like, in the 6th grade band, but they're separate from 7th and 8th. And then of course you have marching band. You know if that's open to all, or is that 9th through 12?
Yeah, the high school numbers. I don't have a number right now, but we can look it up.
When I see them practicing outside, it looks like there's about 24 of them,
Yeah.
roughly.
It's better than we thought we were
Yeah.
gonna keep them, right?
She is really working on boosting that program.
Okay.
There were a bunch of children there after school today, and they've been doing the ball games and things like that. So
Okay.
it's been exciting.
For anybody that wants to support the band program, there's Sound Little Caesar's Pizza right now. Not sure if you're aware of that, but the order forms are going around.
And just a shout out to, we don't know yet, as Coach Packwood, we're going over the athletic stuff, but Cookie Dough, they just finished their sale as well, their fundraiser, and it was amazing. So that was,
Good.
that was the explanation I got, or description I got. I don't have an actual number for you yet, but she thinks it has definitely either surpassed what we've done in fundraising before, and or at the very, very top. And so she wanted to shout out our families and our parents, especially our elementary folks, who really, sold that cookie dough. So here's a public service announcement. If you've not picked up your cookie dough, please go get it. We do not have enough room in the freezer, and our staff has been known to take things home. So lost and found. So, but we'll update you hopefully on that number soon. But she did. That was a full celebration yesterday.
They sold $21,000 worth of product.
Oh, wow.
So Clover Garden looks good. Nothing. No, we don't know the profits yet. That's a lot of good.
Yeah, it is. That's so great to hear parents in the community coming out for that. So that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Felton and Ms. Spencer, for that. Great. Okay, so that takes us next to the whole business, the academic calendar for 23-24. We had a change, Ms. Barakin. What was that change specifically?
Yes, ma'am. They were very subtle, but we definitely just wanted to kind of get you guys to vote on that today, just to amend it before I share it with our families for next year.
Okay.
A lot of families are ready to plan those vacations, and I appreciate that over the breaks. So just a couple of things, and you'll see this. I'll put these updates also in the folder, the Google Drive as well. But so just the major things, let's say major, they're very subtle, but we changed the end of the quarter to a different date. We did not want a quarter to extend over our holiday break. So we kind of backed things up a day. So we changed that back. And then we changed the beginning of the second quarter to a different date, which is following our academic break in October. So those were just kind of minor, just transitional things. And then we adjusted the last day of school to Wednesday, the 22nd, instead of Thursday, the 23rd. And really that was because graduation, of course, for any that's helped with that. That's an all-day extravaganza to prepare. And we've done it before on the same day that the kids got out, but it was a lot, and it just, felt very rushed, and we didn't really feel like we could enjoy it. So they just changed that. And then that way, testing's already done. There's no need for kids to stay after testing is complete. And then the way this is adjusted, all of our teachers will be done. So after Memorial Day, they will not have to return. And so it's a very clean cut for them. They feel like they have all of June and quite a few weeks in July, because that 6 weeks or so goes by really quickly. And then that also gives us an opportunity to begin summer school after Memorial Day vacation. So the only note that she wanted, that they wanted me to, the committee wanted me to share, was that it does drop our excess days, like our hours that we have allotted for like snow, inclement weather, those kind of things, hurricanes, anything that kind of pops up. But I do have that data on the side for anybody that wants it. But Ms. Nina sent me like the past so many years of historical data that we don't use all of those excess hours and days typically in a school year. So that just backed out. We still have an excess of 6 days. And then of course we do have half days that are built in, and academic breaks and things like that. If we had to pull and make up any time, we could do that.
What is our average weather days we've been using? Like
I think it's 4.
maybe like within the last 5 years.
So she went back. All right, so excess days at the end of the year. So like, she went back to like 17, 18. By the end of the school year, we still had 3 days left over. 18, 19, we still had about 3 days left over. 19, 20. I can almost give 19, 20, and 21, okay? Because that was that super no one wants to talk about anymore. And then last year, we did use the majority of our hours and days last year, simply because we used some of those for COVID, the break that we had outbreak of that. So
Been using about 4.
she said, it's pretty close. She said we average about 5 full closures, and typically maybe 3 early release days,
Okay.
potentially.
All right.
So about 5. So we should still be historically in good shape.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Any other of note items on the calendar? Does anybody have any questions or concerns? I have a motion to approve the 23-24 calendar. Ms. Foster, second. McLean, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, that takes us down to our committees. So for governance, we do have a policy that we need everyone to review. Should have gotten it in your pre-packet and have it in tonight's packet. Has everyone had a chance to read that policy? Are there any questions about the policy? I have a motion to approve the child find policy as presented tonight. Mr. Russell, second. Ms. Foster, all in favor? And then finance, any updates, Ms. Lane, on finance?
No, no,
Thank you. Academic, Ms. Foster.
still waiting to get some information about how we wound up last year.
Okay. Very good. Mr. Huffines, long range planning.
All righty, so we still continue to make a lot of progress. We actually have our progress construction meeting tomorrow morning. So we are still on schedule, as of the end of June. As the end of September, we are approximately 30% complete for the project. That's also despite of the massive tropical storm again that we received, a lot of wind, a lot of rain. So we were able to get past all that, which is great news. So just a little bit of progress, still pouring curb and gutters. The major milestone that we did was we poured both concrete floor slabs on the floor there, first floor. A lot of structural steel, framing, bracing. Majority of the steel is up. They're still welding a lot of angles and pieces here and there on the building. If you go out there, you'll see they started putting in our metal pan stairs on the southern wing, because I call it the northern wing, southern wing. And so the upcoming work is the decking on the second floor. And then hopefully we'll start paving before weather sets in. So we got a couple of aerial photos that was taken end of September. This is before the concrete was poured on the floor slabs. That's just fabric. That's the vapor barrier that you see there. Kind of looks like concrete, but it's not. So you can see it's really taken a lot of shape last few weeks. So and our wonderful pile of mulch is still burning. And I believe it's still gonna burn for a while, so it's nothing to be concerned about. It's gonna be a slow burn for a while, so. Again, we still have fire department on standby just in case it gets out of hand, so. I think if we got past the hurricane with all those large winds,
Yeah,
I think we're doing pretty good, so.
it looked like it had calmed down and then
It is.
that was by today.
It just comes and goes. It has its own mind, you know.
Like a living, breathing thing.
Right. So that's pretty much where we're at. Any questions?
That's good.
Just move along very, very well.
It's funny when you drive by it. I mean, the picture is great, but it's small on the picture. But when you drive by, it's the front. It's really. Thank you,
But
sir.
yep. That's it.
Do you have any concerns? Right now?
No.
Thank you. Okay, fundraising. Happy to say that hopefully after this meeting, we'll be meeting with the admin and board members to just kind of start structuring the fundraising committee for the school. So that's coming up. New business, food inspection report. Who's filling in for Ms. Simmons? I think you are, Ms. Ferguson.
So Ms. Quimby was very excited about the food inspection report, the cafeteria. So I can pass this around for your viewing, but we got a 100%, which is pretty awesome on our school inspection.
How many vendors do we have coming in for lunch right now?
She's got two of our, like normal vendors, and then she does like a special, like Wednesdays, because remember when we went over the survey, and that was something that was important to families, and so now we've started slowly bringing in like Crazy Mexico and things like that, on Wednesdays. So I know she's got our two that are continuous from last year. That's been a challenge, just navigating food costs and things like that now. But it's worked out very well so far, so I think the kids have enjoyed lunchtime.
Okay. Very good. We'll wait for it to get around and then we are with.
I was gonna say before, you want to just stand by. Okay.
The food inspection. I thought we had to do for all of them.
Usually it's just stand by.
Just trying to clarify, Mr. Reagan, if this is for an actual vote.
No, this is information.
Okay, well, it's.
No. You do not, you need to vote to
I go on my agenda.
food as
Yeah.
a daily part of our life, yes.
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure because it didn't say.
No.
So,
That, I'm sorry, it should say info only.
okay, good.
No, that's just reality.
I know we have to vote on some of the other section stuff. So.
No, that was just for your information.
Okay, so that is all the agenda items for this evening. We do not have closed session. So before we close, are there questions, additions, any concerns that we need to raise? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn at 6:57 PM on October 11th? Ms. Lane, second. Mr. Huffines, all in favor? We have adjourned.